what the situation is now is that the president says, like, even before this bill gets to my desk, for my attention and accent, I'm aware, or it's come to my notice, that there are other citizens of Ghana who are dissenting on some maybe provisions within the law. Then again, with the arms of government that we have, the legislature has done it. The executive has to accent to it. But if there is some challenge within the judiciary, it is very important.
Who says that?
The president says it's come to his attention.
First of all, I want to understand which law the president is relying on, or which precedent or convention is relying on.
It doesn't have to be a law. But you see, it doesn't have to be a law.
Is it a convention?
You see, at yesterday's event,
or a precedent?
Maybe just to supply with some information.
At yesterday's event.
You see, no, I'm just saying, for example, you see what we popularly call the ganja law that we passed.
Yes.
You know, it was accepted too.
Yes.
Yeah. But somebody went to court. So it did not prevent the court issue. You know, there was a court issue.
Yes.
But the president made it. And when the court took a different decision, the law was brought back to parliament and we readjusted it. So the two of them are not.
If you look at Article 108, right, a private member's bill, in the opinion of the person presiding in parliament,
yes,
in the person's opinion,
yes,
should not have a charge on the consolidated fund. That's the provisions of the Constitution.
Yes, and that's exactly why Attorney General was brought in.
That's the opinion of the person presiding.
The Speaker.
So I presume that private members' bill will have to be accompanied by an opinion of the Speaker, the executive.
No. The
determination is not done by the Speaker.
No. The opinion of a person presiding, in this case the Speaker, is in the admissibility or otherwise of it. Once that is done, that's all.
Certain. So, in the opinion of the Speaker. But then again, I was thinking, so is the opinion of the Speaker sacrosanct? I don't know. That I don't know.
Same way the Constitution.
That I don't know.
Same way the Constitution also vests some of these powers in the president. Whether you agree with the exercise by the president or not.
You see, the provisions on Article 108, it's specific.
Yes.
President has 7 days.
Yes.
Assent to it.
Yes.
If he doesn't,
yes,
he probably will refer it to the Council of State.
Yes.
Even the Council of State, they have specifics.
Yes.
Within 30 days.
Yes.
They have to.
So why
and if they don't do that, they have to
is it so? So what I want to understand, Chief, what I want to understand is that I'm not a lawyer.
Neither am I.
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Neither am I.
But when it comes to the law, we know the standing of His Excellency the President. So with the 108 that you have graciously quoted for us, why is the President referring to
don't you think that
something non-existent to oust his constitutional obligation?
What is non-existent? The bill?
No, what he refers to, that somebody has gone to court.
Okay.
And therefore, his view is that everybody should stay off their hands until the determination by the Supreme Court.
You see.
You are saying, Chief, you have pointed us to 108, which deals with this issue. And it tells you the process, it lays out the process. Now, the President is introducing a process which is not in 108.
Which is alien.
That is why I'm asking where that thing is coming from.
I am sure that at the event that the President spoke yesterday, it was a meeting of diplomats, typical year-end meetings that they have. And given some of the responses we have so far, given the reactions to this bill, you see, the President occupies a unique, he stated his stance on this whole thing, that legalization of same-sex marriages and homosexuality won't happen under his watch. That is on public record.
But that's not what we are dealing with.
What we are dealing with now is that we also have a situation at hand that him as the President needs to manage the whole of the economy. Given what the finance minister or the projected, the potential implications of this act on our economy, nobody can gloss over that. Nobody should. Actually, nobody should. Given where we have come from in the last 2 years. So the president occupies saying, oh, this is his belief. This is what he wants to do. This is what he believes the people of Ghana wants to do. And the people of Ghana have entrusted him with the power to do what they want to do. And he has said that
the people are the finance ministry.
With the people.
The people are the finance ministry.
Yeah.
The minister and the deputies there. Aren't all of them MPs?
MPs. So why did they
all of them not members of parliament?
Yeah.
When the thing was being done in parliament, when they are aware of this analysis.
And I don't know at which stage of the consideration, which is the second reading, or the third reading, that the Minister of Finance could have come out with.
I'm not even asking them in their capacity as finance minister.
When bills go
it was on the floor.
When bills go to parliament,
hold on. It was on the floor of parliament. It was on the floor of parliament.
Right.
It was on the floor of parliament.
And the memorandum explains.
Hold on. It was on the floor of parliament.
Yeah.
That Dr. John Kuma, who is a pastor, I hope you are aware of that.
In fact, he's a founder of a church.
I hope you are aware of that. It was on the floor of parliament.
Yeah.
That he stood and said that we were not going to go to the IMF today or tomorrow, we won't go, whatever. I am saying that all the people who are serving as the finance ministry, who superintended this thing, when they are aware of all these facts,
the president
throughout the period that the thing was being debated, the president
has said that everybody in the government, everybody who is serving in this government, is there to advise him. Our constitution. I recollect in July 2022. When we had decided to go to the IMF, in the words of the finance minister, on the authority of the president, he has been instructed to engage the fund. He had shown, he had said publicly what he believed in. But at the end of the day, Article 58 here, the executive authority of Ghana shall vest in the president and shall be exercised in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. So once the president is, what he's doing is unconstitutional. He has that executive.
So you have helped me once again. With respect to what you have read. With respect to what you have read.
Yeah.
Where is the president taking that power and authority? That says that, contrary to 108 and 58, when somebody has gone to the Supreme Court, everybody should stay their hands until determination.
No.
Where is that inspiration from?
That is not necessarily. You see?
But that's what he said.
If the president, really, the reality of the situation is that if the president today, there are two possible outcomes when the bill gets to the president. But I believe that from what he has said, from the president that I know, he will assent to the bill. But you see, in assenting to the bill, right now, it is tantamount to preempting what the court would do. Because then again, the president would have shown.
Let me read this to you.
It would be tantamount to preempting.
Let me read this to you.
The judgment from the court.
So this is a post by the MP for, is it not or Saudai? Becky? Where is Becky?
Who?
Roxanne.
Yeah. It's Saudai.
Saudai.
Yes.
Yeah, Saudai. It says the procedure to veto a bill is clear. The president can't injunct himself from carrying out his constitutional function upon his receipt of the Anti-LGBTQ+ bill as passed by Parliament, based on some hearsay court action. Now listen to this. It says, we are in the Supreme Court against the E-Levy Act, but he signed it.
See. If we had waited, you see, in this instance, right, coming back to this instance, the reality is that President assents to the bill today, becomes law. That's preempted for the Supreme Court because irrespective of whether or not the matter was in court, he shown his opinion.
Are you aware? Are you aware?
Yeah. So
that the president? No. Are you aware that the president of the republic? Hold on.
Yeah.
Are you aware that the president of the republic, upon receipt of a private member's bill from Parliament, assented to law? It went to your assembly press.
Our assembly press, not mine.
Because you alluded to it. It went there assembly press. For gazetting. For gazetting. Yeah. Okay. Now, 2 or 3 months after,
then yes,
the president now writes to the speaker.
The speaker says
to say that someone that were the witchcraft one, the one that he had assented into law and the thing had gone to advert press. That all of that he is unable to assent to. The thing he had assented to already.
And he put a reason to it.
No, it's not even the reason. I'm saying that you read the timelines and everything. It was completely out of question. But I'm just telling you that happened. Now, instructively, as Honorable the former says, when they went to court, this is not somebody, a certain Kwashi Kumi somewhere who is supposed to have gone to court. When the minority in parliament served notice and indeed went to court, it did not stay the president's hands in approving the e-levy. So that's why I asked you which law or precedent or convention was the president relying on?
You recollect that the e-levy itself had been in parliament for a very long time. From November, when the budget for 2021 was taken to parliament.
Yes.
Parliament, in its own wisdom, decided that they were going to pass part of the Appropriation Act because they passed the expenditure bit. Meanwhile, the principal revenue handles were held on for 6 months. And that is one of the reasons, or the principal reason, why we had that level of instability in 2022. Because government was spending to keep the country afloat. Meanwhile, the tax handle that was supposed to bring in revenues had been suspended for 5-6 months. And we're in that straits at a time. It was quite crucial. Are you going to say that the exigencies of the time then, relative to this law that we want to be time-tested, this law that we all have yearned for?
You're talking here that
I don't really think Edward, why are you preempting my I think that
those of you who believe that you are closer to God, who believe that you made vows to God, and who believe that those vows must be, I mean, whether you are able to redeem your vow to God or not in your lifetime is your matter. But the simple thing I want to tell you, and for anybody who's hearing me, is that God judges motives. And you can try to outsmart human beings and try to play smart with human beings.
I don't think anybody is playing smart.
You cannot outsmart God. God judges motives.
I don't think, and I won't agree with you to the extent that somebody is.
You don't agree that God judges motives.
See, I started off by saying that look, the president is in a unique situation. This is what he is on record. He supports this wholeheartedly. But in supporting this, there's also the reality.
Sign it. Let the Supreme Court say that.
This is going to. This is a
I'm
law,
saying that
that's a law that Ghanaians.
The president does not have.
This is going to apply to Ghanaians.
So, Isa, let me tell you
so
this.
If a Ghanaian,
let me tell you this. The president, if the thing gets onto a table under the Constitution, has no right.
Why even preempting this?
Just hold on.
It's not even on the president.
It is the president who has decided to speak about it.
Let me tell you what it is.
Right.
The president has no right to say that on the basis of the fact that somebody has gone to the Supreme Court, he will not act on it and will wait. The Constitution does not allow the president to take that decision on the basis of somebody going to court. That's just the point I'm making.
My point is also that. The lawyers keep saying that, look, it is even good for one guilty person to be let free than one innocent person to be incarcerated.
Yes.
So if there is one person who needs to be heard, who will have their day in court to be heard, before we finalize this, what's the haste?
Where in the Constitution?
What is the haste?
Where in the Constitution?
What is the haste?
Does the president?
Certainly.
The question I'm asking you is that
certainly
the president takes his power from the Constitution when it comes to private members' bill, where does the Constitution empower the president to, upon a case being filed at the Supreme Court, decide to stay his hands off until the determination of the matter?
The reality, Randy, is that
the Constitution is clear on. It doesn't say that the president must sign by all means. The Constitution is even clear that if the president has some reservations, he tells him what to do. So if the president has reservations with it, he should follow what the Constitution says. But he shouldn't create a new reasons. He shouldn't create a new this thing about staying off your hands because somebody is supposed to have gone to Parliament.
The 7 days will start counting when the bill has been transmitted.
So why is he preempting it?
No, I mean, if there's a public discussion.
No, why is the president preempting? The president.
We are here discussing a bill.
Fuseni, the president has not said that. The president didn't say that when he lands on my desk, I will look at whether this and that and that. He says that I have been informed. We are all aware. That there is an action.
This is a bill. This is still a bill, not an act.
Yes.
That I have learned that today a challenge has been mounted at the Supreme Court by a concerned citizen to the constitutionality of the proposed legislation. In the circumstances, it will be as well for all of us to hold our hands and await the decision of the court before any action is taken. Trust me, they won't empanel anybody. They won't empanel. That's the next strategy.
You are calling on the reputation of the judiciary. I mean, how can you be making such preemptive statements?
Stop what they are doing.
How can you be making such preemptive statements?
I'm saying they won't empanel.
Member of Parliament,
you see, look, let's
not some reference to the other arms of government.
Oh, let's not pretend.
This is I mean, you can't be making statements like this.
I've made it.
The president says, let's all hold hands. I mean, this is going to be time.
No, I'm saying hold hands.
If there is one person.
Hold hands. Listen, the president swore to uphold the Constitution.
Of course.
The Constitution is clear that if it is a private member's bill, this is the process.
It is not just every bill.
I'm saying. So the intervention by the president, where is that inspiration coming from? That's what I want to understand.
I'm saying that yes, we are ruled by the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Over time, we are building a governance system, and it's good that everybody is carried along. And I've made a statement that the lawyers say, look, it's better to let one guilty person go, or 1,000 guilty people go scot-free.
But it doesn't apply to this.
If there's one Ghanaian of the 32
when the lawyers say that,
if there is one,
they don't say that in a vacuum.
They don't say that in a vacuum.
It is through due process. It is through due process. The Constitution spells out the due process for a private member's bill.
So,
which part of that process was the president referring to? That's what I want to understand.
Within this time lag that we are discussing this, the bill can get to the president's desk. He will refer it to the Council of State.
So you already know that he won't sign, but he will send it to the Council of State.
He will. I mean, these are options open to him. Within 7 days, if he can assent to it as is and bring it back to Parliament, it becomes a law. Within the 7 days, if he has issues and thinks that, there's somebody in court, let us also listen to the outcome of the court processes. Don't forget, this is a president who has an unblemished record when it comes to fighting for human rights in this country. This is a president who is the most mentioned in the Ghana legal reports. That is his track record. So if he also decides that this is the route we should take, just so that
all I'm saying is that everybody's view. All I am saying is that
this law becomes representative.
All I'm saying,
we all ascribe to in 1992 when
there's nothing more representative. Fuseni, there's nothing more representative than the view of Parliament. There's nothing more representative.
You had a unanimous.
Why do we have that?
You had a unanimous and a bad. Look, is it what?
The judiciary to do what?
To also be a check and balance. Just like you mentioned,
Which law oust the role of the president on the basis of an action in the judiciary? Which law?
Oh,
which law?
Randy,
just show me.
Randy.
Look, Randy, my general view is that government.
Have you even thought of the president?
Have
you even thought of the president? That tomorrow, anytime Parliament approves something and is for presidential assent, immediately somebody goes to court. We must stay our hands until the determination of the matter.
No.
That's the precedent the president is setting.
The process.
That's the precedent he's trying to set.
You see, he was talking to an audience, some of which who we have built relationships with.
To tell them
over the last 67 years.
That relationship is superior to
today. It's 5th March, and we are not
even talking the relationship is superior to.
So, in fact, this is an independent.
What we are discussing is fundamental to our independence.
See,
the so-called proud nation.
This so-called thing.
Yes, the so-called proud nation that will not. I'm speaking within a context. The so-called proud nation that will not go to the IMF.
Proud of Ghana,
I am saying. Yeah. I'm speaking within a context.
Yeah.
The so-called proud nation. In fact, I am quoting the former finance minister.
So-called.
The so-called.
The use of
within the context, I'm saying so-called. Yes.
Difficult for me.
No.
Seriously.
I'm choosing my words wisely.
Okay.
And I know what I'm saying.
Certainly.
I'm saying the so-called proud nation that will not go to the IMF because it is not a nation of beggars. Because it is proud. It doesn't need the IMF. It can be able to do things by itself and describe others as naysayers. Today, that same proud nation is telling us about a loss of $3.6 billion over 6 years. And that is a reason why the president shouldn't assent.
And that we should throw our values to the dogs.
No, he has not. I mean, Bawa, you cannot stretch it to that extent.
What does that mean?
What the president...
That you can sacrifice your values on the altar of 3.6 billion.
No.
And you are telling me that you are not throwing your values to the dogs?
No. What the president is seeking to do is that let this law that we have all supported through its processes, let it be as representative.